Hello and welcome back to another AP Sports video. Today I'm going to be talking about what just happened. I'm going to try and get this out tonight, the night of the draft, but my favorite team, the Chicago Bulls, drafted Patrick Williams with the number 4 overall pick in the NBA draft. I have a lot of opinions about this actually. This just happened. There's no script to this video. I'm really just going off the dome completely. But my initial reaction was, okay, this is random. I knew this was a weak draft, but I didn't have Williams go until 9 to the Wizards, and a lot of people didn't have him go until 20s. Like, the biggest issue I have with this pick is obviously that we didn't trade down and try and draft him there. But one thing I have to say about that I've come to terms with is the Bulls didn't draft Patrick Williams immediately right out the gates. All day long, the Bulls have been going through every trade scenario possible. I mean, the Bulls at first were like, oh, Wendell Carter and the 4th for the 2nd from the Warriors. And then there were talks about us moving to 1 to Minnesota, or maybe even getting rid of Zach LaVine in some sort of weird package deal. So I don't know what happened, but obviously the Bulls couldn't get a trade down done in time. Either they couldn't get that done in time and they just were like, screw it, we'll pick Patrick Williams. Even if we do trade down, there won't be a ton of capital that we're getting. Plus, like, this is a weak draft in a lot of eyes. Not a top 10 team didn't even trade in this year's draft. Like, nobody's been traded at this time. So why would they trade up to 4? It seems like everybody got who they were expected to get and who they looked at when it comes to prospect scouting. Obviously, I really wanted Deni Avdija. That was a guy that I was eyeing all offseason. Ever since I heard his name, I really was attached to Deni. And although I'm upset because I was already imagining a Deni, Zach, and Kobe, them running, I'm not completely upset because although Deni probably fit better, I think we traded in Deni for a much higher ceiling and a pretty safe floor. I don't think Patrick Williams is going to be a bust. I mean, at the lowest he can be is a role player. And at the moment, I mean, he's freed up our Otto Porter Jr. contract. We don't need Otto Porter anymore if we have Patrick Williams, who we drafted at number 4. We're obviously expecting him to be NBA ready. So why do we need to keep Otto Porter? We're going to package him away for nothing, just dump his contract somehow, maybe him and Felicio, and start anew with Patrick Williams. Another thing I'm a little concerned about is where he's going to fit, because the Chicago Bulls have one of the weirdest starting 5 situations in the NBA because we don't really have a playmaker. I mean, Kobe is our point guard right now, but we have Satoransky. Those 2 guys are really our top 2 point guards. Then there's Zach at shooting guard. Otto Porter was injured all season. We've been starting Denzel Valentine, guys like that. And then after that, like, I don't know, because Wendell has said multiple times he wants to play the 4, but I think he's a lot better as a 5. And then we have Lowry, who's a 7-foot center who really doesn't play the greatest defense in the world. So I'm guessing we're just going to run Kobe, Zach, Patrick Williams, Lowry, and Wendell. That makes the most sense to me. I don't get the Wendell at the 4 talk. I think he's just fine as a center. I mean, he's can be an elite center. He was a top 10 pick for a reason. He's shown flashes of defensive greatness. He's a pretty good playmaker. He's got really good IQ, and he's got an offensive edge. He's not elite offensively, but he gets the job done. Lowry, I'm very high on. He has all-star offense capabilities. His defense can be worked on, but I've seen a lot of off-season training, so I'm happy about that. And now Williams, who is going to be able to run with Zach LaVine and Kobe really well. He's a pretty fast and athletic guy. When I was first doing scouting reports on my mock draft for Patrick Williams, the thing that stood out to me was that shot. Oh my God, it's so bad. Like, that's the biggest downside about this is Patrick Williams, like, yeah, it goes in every once in a while, but it takes him a solid 3 seconds to get the load up for the shot. Like, he is not going to ever be elite. He will never be an elite shooter. I've come to terms with that. His shot is just too slow. He is a catch-and-shoot guy. And, I mean, so is Deni. So that isn't exactly the biggest downgrade in my eyes. It does kind of... I really like Isaac Okoro. I would have been a lot happier with Okoro than Williams, just because Okoro is young, has better defense than Patrick Williams, has a lot higher ceiling than Patrick Williams offensively, and is already the best defender in the draft. So if we went the Williams route, I don't understand why we didn't go the Okoro route, because Okoro is better, and almost like you can argue Deni isn't as good as Patrick Williams from a ceiling perspective. But Okoro's ceiling is so high, and yeah, he's a really low floor, but if we're already taking the risk at Williams, what hurts going with Okoro? Another really good side about this is Patrick Williams has been connected with Coby White for a while. I saw a tweet right after the draft. I mean, they've been connected since the offseason, since the Bulls stopped playing in March. Like, Patrick Williams has said in interviews, he's been talking to Coby White just about every other day, which is, it really makes me happy that we have Coby. I love him. He's such a good guy. He really wants what's best for Chicago. He also just wants to see his team win, and I just love him. I love the guy. His personality is amazing. He has an infectious, happy vibe. I love the guy. I don't know what to say. Zach hasn't said anything yet. Wendell has posted a couple stories. I'm sure we'll get a lot more of that news, but as of now, I hate the negativity going around. I think we should be glad that we got the 4 pick and we got to choose this for ourselves. Patrick Williams is going to be fine. A lot of people are like, oh, he averages 6 points per game. So what? People didn't think Jokic was going to be an all-star best center in the NBA, and he was. These things happen. You can't look at stats as a defining characteristic of a player. Patrick Williams has great charisma. He loves the game of basketball, and he wants to win, and that's all it takes for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you got this far, especially if you're a Bulls fan. I really don't know what direction the channel's going in. We're kind of just uploading whatever we want at this point. Mostly NFL and NBA content, so stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.